Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness. Today, in the political scene, a lot is happening that is causing shocks, ripples here and there. Some few hours ago, there's been an appeal that is looking towards unseating the present president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and seeing how they can reinstate Atiku Abubakar. But of course, the case has been adjourned to May. But we're keeping our fingers crossed on that. But as we speak, the likes of Akeredolu have decided to warn all political parties to be very careful not to feed another now that they may not have a field day. Well, it looks like the North will not have it at all. They have said to list it all out. Nigeria, honestly, we're keeping our fingers crossed, watching what is going on from zone A to zone B, from region A to region B. We're going to give you all the full update and juicy information in a moment. But before we do that, I'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it. You see a bell notification icon, please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. What the pan Northern Social Political Organization, the Arewa Consultative Forum, on Wednesday came hard on Ondo State Governor and Chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, Rotimi Akeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, for declaring that any political party that fielded a northern candidate in the 2023 presidential election would lose. The group all argued the group argued that the governor, being a senior legal practitioner, should know better when it comes to electing anyone to occupy the nation's coveted seat. The governor, while receiving members of a group, the Power Rotation Movement, led by the chairman, Bongo Bitrus, who also doubles as the chairman, Middle Belt Forum, said the 17 governors in the southern part of the country were determined to ensure that the next president comes from the south. However, the ACF, through its National Publicity Secretary, Emmanuel Yahweh, drew the attention of the governor to the constitutional provisions for the emergence of a president in the country. The ACF spokesman, in an interview in Kaduna, said Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria SAN, should know that any presidential candidate who intends to win the seat needs votes from 24 states and not 17, South, and 19, North. That is what the Constitution says. As a very senior lawyer, Governor Akeredolu should know the provisions of the Constitution. It is therefore not possible for a group of states to come together and say we must produce the president. Anybody eyeing that seat must transverse the country, the North and the South, to meet the demands of the Constitution. Also, a former Secretary General of the ACF, Anthony Sani, reminded the governor that no zone could produce the nation's president on its own. Sani noted that for that reason, the zones must collectively produce the president to ensure the unity of the nation. The former ACS scribe, while speaking to our correspondent in Kaduna on Wednesday, maintained that threats and intimidation were not part of democratic ethics that could produce a president. He said, and I quote, I hope those who claim fielding a northerner or a southerner as presidential candidate for 2023, depending on who's speaking, are aware of the import of the provisions in the Constitution that before one emerges as president, he must meet two important requirements, to wit, secure the majority of votes and spread by garnering at least 25% of the vote in at least two-thirds of the states of the federation, put currently at 24 states. Since none of the regions has 24 states, it means none can produce the president with its own vote alone. The intention of such provisions is to force political parties and their candidates to go around the whole country and canvass for votes. That way, they will interact and break barriers in order to meet the requirements of not only the majority but also of the spread. Those who drafted the Constitution deliberately made it impossible for a region to use its own vote alone to produce the president. The regions must meet in order to produce the president and further the unity of the nation. So, political parties and candidates are expected to use their campaigns to enable their victory in the elections instead of resorting to threats and intimidation that are not part of democratic ethics to produce the president. All right, one would expect that. I wasn't expecting anything less from the Northern Group, Northern Consultative Forum, having also having eyes on the presidential seat. But the truth be told, I guess the Southerners are beginning to get wary of this. Every time the vice will always come from the South, and majorly the president will always come from the North. But if you look at it critically, before the likes of President Muhammad Buhari became the president, Olusegun Obasanjo was the no, sorry, Jonathan was the president from the south. Olusegun Obasanjo was the president also from the south. So just that while they're doing this south thing, in the vice position, there's always been a northerner. So they've always been at the corridor of power. But they're just saying that you can't do, you've done 8 years. All right, you should also come again to the south. But let's feel the pulse of Nigerians. Nigerians are getting very vexed. This one here is saying ACF, stop twisting Ekitikete's statement. Baba didn't stop you from contesting. He does not even have any constitutional power to do so. He only gave word of advice to any northerner still nursing 2023 ambition to wait for their time. This is the turn of the South. Is that too much for him to say? Almost 62 years of our existence as a country, North has been in power for over 45 years. Is that fair enough? Strong indeed, I must say. This one here is saying this ACF and the hypocritical love for constitution that do not represent the entire country, but a section of the country is equal to none. I hope he continues his quote of the constitution after Buhari's tenure. This one here is saying every region should contest. Where was Southern Presidency when North Southerner was removed and not replaced by another Southerner? Anyway, the PDP ticket has been open to all, and Atiku knows his way around it. Another person here is saying, after they have ruled for a greater period of our national life, with nothing to show for it except suppression, oppression, and retrogression. Imagine these are the same region that forced the present catastrophe of a nation of over 200 million people. Twice. The Orthodox Nigerian constitution only makes sense to those guys only when they are desperately in need of political power to subjugate others. But after that, the other laws is their primary legal dictate. Alright, a lot of Nigerians are really angry. But I will take one more. This one here is saying, in the 1999, 2003, the ACF forgets the constitution when zoning was agreed upon by all politicians in the country so that peace can reign and every region can rule and have a sense of belonging. Now the northern 8 years rule is coming to an end and power will shift to south. They are now claiming constitution and number. Going by the real census figures, do they not still feel they are largest in the country? It's just laughable. The North controls everything in Nigeria from fuel to military, yet find it greedy to relinquish some of these powers to its southern brothers. When the South say we don't want again, let's divide, they will be the first to shout, one Nigeria. This is really serious. Nigerians are getting really vexed.